Osimhen's shocking move to Galatasaray. Laporta embarrasses Barcelona again, and Real Madrid are ready to get rid of their young talent. We will talk about all this and more in today's video. Let's get into Victor Osimhen, the Napoli hitman, the man who could have been lighting up the Premier League or even the French capital, is now rocking the Turkish Super League with Galatasaray. Loan deal? Yep. Compensation for Napoli? Nope. Osimhen's pockets? Lined with a cool 10 million euros for the season. That's right. Folks, Napoli and Osimhen are officially done. Fabrizio Romano himself has declared the relationship kaput. No more blue and white for Victor. And let's be honest, it's a bit of a head-scratcher. Osimhen could have been a Galactico this summer. Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, Al Ahly, they were all sniffing around. But no, Victor decided to play hardball. Now, I get it, the guy's a top talent, but 4 million a year from Chelsea, that's laughable. Osimhen's the one who needs to take a look in the mirror. The guy's got a financial appetite bigger than a hungry lion, and it seems to have cost him a big move to a top club. Instead, he's in Turkey. Sure, he'll be racking up goals against weaker opposition, maybe even hit 15 before January. But is this the legacy he wanted? Napoli, oh Napoli, you never learn, do you? De Laurentiis, the man who seems to think a penny saved is a penny earned, is the only financial principle that matters, has messed this one up royally. Another top player sold too late. Another chance missed. They could have gotten a hefty fee for Osimhen, but instead they're stuck paying half his wages while he's on loan. And it gets even weirder. The contract's got an escape clause. January comes around, a big club comes calling, and Osimhen's off to a new adventure, leaving Galatasaray holding the bag. How's that for a plan? Osimhen's even sacked his agent, Roberto Calenda, after this whole debacle. Seems like he's blaming him for the whole thing. Osimhen took charge of negotiations himself. He's the man in the driver's seat now. Honestly, it's a bit of a train wreck. He's clearly not happy, and it's cost him a move to a big European club. Did he fumble the bag, folks? You tell me. Maybe he'll find a Champions League club in January. But for now, it's a Turkish adventure for the man who could have been a superstar. What a season it's already shaping up to be. Casemiro, the midfielder who once bossed the Bernabeu, could be on his way out of Old Trafford. Galatasaray, the Turkish giants, are sniffing around the Brazilian apparently. They're reportedly in talks with Manchester United for a loan move. Can you believe it? The Casemiro who, just a season ago, was dictating the tempo of games for the Red Devils, now potentially facing a move to Turkey. And why the sudden change of heart? Well, let's just say his performance against Liverpool was less than stellar. We saw a player who seemed to have lost his mojo. He looked a yard off the pace, a step behind the play. Did he even try to win the ball back, guys? I'm not sure I saw that. Being hauled off at half-time, replaced by a 20-year-old. That's the stuff of nightmares, isn't it? And that's not even the worst of it. Rumors swirling that he might have even left the stadium early. The indignity. Now, I know some might say, give the guy a break, he's human. But come on, folks. We're talking about a player on a reported £350,000 a week, a player who United gave a 5-year contract. 5 years. For a performance like that, honestly, with a wage like that, there's nothing else to do at Manchester United with a game like that one against Liverpool. This team needs to get rid of a player like that as soon as possible. They need to be ruthless. And let's be honest, the writing was kinda on the wall. His form dipped towards the end of last season, but United couldn't shift him. Now, with the arrival of Ugarte, it looks like Casemiro's days in the starting 11 are numbered. So, what happens next? Well, a loan move might be the best option for everyone involved. It might help United clear a bit of space on the wage bill, and it might give Casemiro a chance to rediscover his form. But will United let him go, even on loan? They might be desperate to get his wages off the books, to be honest. This is a developing story, folks. One that could have major implications for both Manchester United and Galatasaray. We'll be keeping a close eye on this one. And in the meantime, let us know what you think in the comments below. Would you be happy to see Casemiro leave Old Trafford? Nico Williams, the Athletic Bilbao speedster, the man who could have been tearing up the Premier League or League One, decided to stay put. He snubbed 3 clubs. That's right, folks. 3 clubs, all willing to pay his €58 million release clause, got a resounding no from the young winger. Can you believe it? There were approaches from many clubs this summer. I did well at the Euros, and that's a great showcase. I had many clubs to choose from, but my heart is with Athletic Club. I'm happy here, and I'm very happy here. God knows what will happen in the future. He's got loyalty, this kid, and it seems he's happy in Bilbao. Barcelona, the club that was heavily linked with him, got completely ghosted. They couldn't even get a response from the guy. Williams didn't even bother replying to their advances. Honestly, Barcelona should be focused on registering players they already have, like Olmo, before even thinking about signing another player. They can't even figure out how to register players they already have. How can they sign Williams? PSG, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. They all came knocking. But Nico wasn't swayed. He's a man of his word. It is true that I talk a lot with Nico Williams. I talk to him practically every day, but in the end, everyone decides their life, decides their career, and do what they want. It seems his good friend Alejandro Balde even tried to convince him to join Barca. But even Balde's persuasion wasn't enough to break the Bilbao bond. Athletic Bilbao's president, Jon Uriarte, is thrilled. He's hoping Nico will stay for his entire career. That's loyalty. Nico has made it clear with words and actions that he wants to stay here. Keeping him is vital to set ambitious goals, he told reporters. Now, the transfer window is shut, the dust has settled, but don't be surprised if this saga kicks off again next summer. And who knows, maybe Barcelona will finally get their act together and figure out how to register players. It's a fascinating story of loyalty and ambition. Nico Williams is proving that sometimes staying put is the best move. What do you think? Will he stay at Bilbao forever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Joan Laporta, the president who never fails to entertain, has been dishing out some doozies in his latest press conference. The subject? Ilkay Gundogan's shock exit to Manchester City. Yes, the very same club he left just a year ago. And what's Laporta's take on it? Well, he spun a yarn that's as believable as a Messi transfer to Real Madrid. The decision on Gundogan's departure was not made because of economic factors, he proclaimed. It was a sporting decision. Oh really, Joan? Really? Is that why Gundogan conveniently became a free agent just as Dani Olmo arrived? And who could forget Ilkay's heartfelt farewell message, hinting that his departure was a sacrifice for the club's financial well-being. If my departure can help the club financially, it makes me a bit less sad, he said. Yeah, right, Ilkay. But Laporta, in his infinite wisdom, assures us that it was all about sporting reasons. Following the signing of Dani Olmo, the role of Gundogan was not clear, because they shared a very similar position. A very similar position indeed. A position that suddenly became crystal clear when Gundogan was free to leave and Olmo was registered. Look, I'm not saying that Gundogan wasn't expendable, but let's not pretend this wasn't a financial maneuver disguised as a tactical masterclass. And let's not forget, folks, this is the same club that couldn't register players because of their financial woes, then claims they didn't want to use the one-to-one rule to sort it out. We decided that at this time it wasn't necessary, wasn't appropriate, and that there are other solutions for registering players. Well, that's a clear and simple explanation, right? Honestly, nothing has changed at Barcelona since Laporta came to the club. It's the same old story of financial mismanagement, questionable decisions, and excuses. It's a never-ending cycle. I'm starting to wonder if they're just making it up as they go along. It's a masterclass in spin. A lesson in how to dress up a financial necessity as a sporting decision, and frankly, it's getting a little old. Aurélien Tchouaméni, the French midfielder at Real Madrid, might be on the move. Say what? Yeah, you heard that right. The Bernabeu faithful might be saying adios to their talented defensive midfielder. It seems like life in the Spanish capital hasn't been all sunshine and roses for Tchouaméni. He's a solid player, no doubt. But it seems he's not quite reached the heights that Real Madrid fans expect. He's not quite the fan favorite like Camavinga or Valverde. And to be honest, Ancelotti doesn't seem too keen on him either, judging by his minutes on the pitch. So, for the second year running, the whispers are getting louder. Could Tchouaméni be packing his bags? And let's not forget the injury woes. The guy's been sidelined more than a traffic cone on a busy street. It's hard to build momentum when you're constantly in the treatment room. Hopefully, he can get back to full fitness. But it's a concern. Now, who's interested in snapping up the Frenchman? Well, the rumour mill is churning out names like Arsenal and Liverpool. Liverpool? Really? Liverpool needs a defensive midfielder, sure, especially after Zubimendi decided to stay put with Real Sociedad. But why Tchouaméni? He's more of a destroyer, a ball winner, not a silky passer like Zubimendi. They already have Endo, their own midfield pitbull. Is Slot thinking Tchouaméni can morph into a playmaker? Maybe he sees him as an upgrade over Endo, who is getting on a bit. But that's a hefty price tag, at least 80 million euros. Arsenal then? They've got a solid midfield already. Mikel Merino's arrived and they're stacked. Are they worried about running out of cash, or do they see some hidden gem in Tchouaméni? I mean, wouldn't they be better off bolstering their attack? They need to challenge City, and it's not like their midfield is a weak point. But hey, if Arsenal's been successful in the transfer market lately, maybe they know something we don't. So the question is, folks, will Tchouaméni be swapping Madrid for Merseyside next summer? It's a fascinating situation. Will he be a Red next season? Let me know in the comments below.